So
should have got ice cream. I prepped so well for this, but I should have fucking ice cream.
Well, it's not ice cream time. It's Comic Burrito and Interview. I'm Todd.
I'm Nick.
Oh, damn. We should probably... This is an interview, right? We should probably have a guest. Nick, what do you think about comics?
They're all
no,
right.
You know what? I don't care what you think. Let's see what someone else thinks. It's Martin Morazzo.
Hey.
Hey.
How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Excellent. This is long overdue.
Yeah.
No. That's
Golden
awesome.
Burrito Award winning. Sorry, I didn't introduce you properly. Golden Burrito
yeah.
Award winning Martin Morazzo.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. When did I win? I thought I was a nominee.
No, you won. You
won.
You what? That was when you sent a video to us. That was for an acceptance of winning. Well, congratulations.
I'm sorry.
Do you have? You have it?
I do have it. Congratulations.
Too much work.
Martin.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, it was. You know what?
Yeah. I remember now. Yeah,
it's been a long. It's been a long 2 years.
Yes, I'm sorry.
That was
No.
That was hard time pandemic when that was going down. There are no apologies necessary. Your video was lovely, and you're good.
That was great.
Okay.
That was.
I'm sorry,
that was
guys.
our first.
I'm sorry for this confusion.
No,
that was our first. Was that our first Golden Burritos?
We've only had 2, so yeah.
Yeah. So that was.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was great. And then.
But for best cover, because it was the best.
That's awesome. The story behind that cover is awesome.
Well, let's kick it off. What's the story behind the cover? We'd love to hear.
We had like a cover by I cannot remember the name of the artist, official artist, but he was like charged with an abuse situation. I cannot remember exactly. He was not charged, but blamed by someone online, and we decided to take down the cover. He's an artist from Bad Girl. He was known for Bad Girl. I cannot remember the name. It was an awesome cover. It was a guy with his head open, and the ice cream man was eating ice cream from where his brain should be. Nice. And we finally decided to cancel that cover. And then Will had the idea of doing a Dr. Seuss cover. So we did it like with 1 day time, and Chris colored it really fast, obviously, because it's somehow a simple style. And and that was the story about that cover. And sometimes we agree with the ice cream team that probably that cover changed everything for us, because that
one too.
Yeah, that one too. But
these ones.
But
look at those ones.
Those are the ones that probably changed everything for us. So it was a strange situation because we hadn't planned that cover, previously. So it was
did change
great.
it.
I gotta tell you, I gotta confess. At a point, I tried to stay away from the Dr. Seuss style because I had many requests like, can you do a variant cover for my book with the Dr. Seuss? No, I cannot. I'm sorry, but I won't do it anymore.
Everybody wants it now.
Thinking for myself, like I've been working on my style. I've been working in comics for 10 years already, and now I'm gonna be known as the guy who does Dr. Seuss covers.
No.
Oh no!
Please, no more. And and I don't want to spoil, but there's another one coming along. So, but for
but that's good that we gotta get a few. But yeah, you shouldn't be typecasted as the Dr. Seuss guy.
In a way, I hope it's the last one. But I don't care. I can do many for Ice Cream Man. It's okay. I don't want to do them for any other
for everything
book,
else.
Yeah, it's okay for Ice Cream Man. That's totally fair.
Yes, I did commissions already, and also
Which I did ask Nick because I wanted to put these stuff together. I asked him what his favorite issue was. And cover and all of that. So I made this is Nick's favorite, which I love that love that it was not a planned thing, or it was planned but short term. That's really interesting.
This is when I switched. This was the first single issue of Ice Cream Man that I got, and I've been racking my brain all day, and I feel horrible. And if you're watching, I promise I still love you. But someone sent me this as a gift because they knew how much I loved, and I can see their username if I close my eyes, but I can't quite get the letters to know what it is. But if I saw it, I'd be like, yes, that's them. But yeah, they sent me this, and then it all started, and now it's just because I was reading the trades.
And now how many singles do you have, Nick?
Just that, man.
Okay.
He's got a couple.
Well, but that also includes like hardcovers.
Sure. Oh, that's awesome.
I'm a schmuck and only have 1 through 29 A cover. Plus,
no, I buy all the regulars.
The only B covers that I do have are the Dr. Seuss ones. Everything else I have is
everybody wanted those. Yeah,
it was too great. It was super fun. I will say my favorite one, and I have no idea if there will be any story whatsoever, but I love this story. It's early on. I feel like it's wildly underrated, and I adore it. Is Ice Cream Man #3. I love the story. I love the art style. This cover is super cool.
Yeah. It's it was a really loved issue. It's not a surprise because I remember being at New York Comic Con in 2018, I think, and many people said this is my favorite issue. And I remember having original art there, and I sold it really fast. Many people saying this is my favorite issue. It's incredible, but we didn't have many issues by then, so. Probably that changed later. Many people loving issue 6. Many people loving issue 20 was another favorite one.
19 was a big one for us.
19 is the burrito big one too.
19, the one, the manual.
Oh yes, the manual.
Yeah. The number 18 is another favorite one in another tone. Probably it's one of or the saddest issue we have. Yeah,
and the cover of volume 3, I think, right? Volume
yes
3 or 4?
Yes, volume 4 or 5, volume 5, I think. I cried drawing the last page of that one. And many people cried reading the book. So let's get together and cry, everyone.
Which is great. I mean, I love bright and depressing things, so I love Ice Cream Man. What's it been like? Because did you think when you were pitched this or part of this, like creating it and all of that, like when you were coming up with these ideas and this art, were you ready to be like, this is going to be, I'm going to be looking at number 32 right now and trying to like plan it out?
No. I probably said this already many times, but when Will approached me, we were doing the Electric Sublime, which was our first book together. We really had a great time. I was going through some really terrible times, which including losing a brother at the beginning of 2015. And then Will approached me just a couple of weeks after that and said, I want to make a book with you, and it's about art. And I said, wow, how come nobody ever did this before? It's a great idea. And I said, and he said, you probably have to mock up some famous art. And I said, I love that, of course, yes. And he was a bit surprised, and we started working, and we were, I'm not sure how to say it. We like think like, so when he's asking me to do something, I do it exactly as he wanted to. It's awesome that. So he has said it many times, so it's not my assumption, but but
it just comes easy.
Yeah, but the Electric Sublime came out through IDW, and it didn't have many readers. It didn't have great sales, and we just were able to do only 4 issues. We were like, we want to do more, and then Will said, well, we can do something else. Yes, I had this idea. They are sad stuff. There is an ice cream man and I said, I remember telling my wife, this guy is crazy. I'm gonna do 4 issues and get over with.
4?
And because I thought it was going to be, a failure. That's my my mind in terms of business. I didn't realize about it. And then when he sent me the script for the first 7 pages, which I don't know if you remember the first issue well, but it ended up with the parents of the boy like all stiff because they were bitten by the spider. And I said, okay, this is probably going to be something, because I sensed there this Twilight Zone or maybe Tales from the Crypt vibe, and I said, okay, this could be awesome. And when we started working on issues, I absolutely changed my mind. Of course, I wasn't sure if it was going to be a success or not, or if I was sure. Pretty much, I think it wasn't going to last until 32 issues at least. So then it was a surprise. Sales were good at the beginning, and everybody was loving it. So I changed my mind, and I think by issue 6, I said, okay, this is a book I'm gonna be proud of, because we're like playing with the medium, and that's, to me, is awesome, because I love that, it's like, I don't know how to say without sounding too wrong, but it's creatively arousing for me.
Yeah, totally.
So it's like Will says, zing. Okay, it's Will saying, okay, we're gonna do this issue as it's a palindrome, and I was, that's awesome, and he said, yeah, I'm having trouble because the page is like a mirror, you start from the beginning and then in the end, so the pages should be flipped, but they will be the same, so don't worry, because we hadn't much time to do it. He said, you have to do only 13 pages. And I said, wait a minute.
Cool.
Wait a minute. If it's going to be a palindrome, we should have the same cover on the back, and you should be able to read from the back too, because it will be more or less be the same. And he said, like, oh, I'm gonna need another week for the script. He said, okay. And we love to do that, like playing with these kind of things. So it's to me, Ice Cream Man is an amazing experience, and Will said it some days ago, like it's like a playground for us to try new things and try things, and sometimes we miss, probably, but the next month there will be another chance to make something great. So it's awesome to us.
What is this miss you speak of? Because
I don't know, but
there's definitely times that it's like, so for me, like, I always love Ice Cream Man, but there are like standout issues where it's like, oh man, this is like a classic. Like you could definitely do like a mixtape volume of like, people could put big like ones. Or people, it'd be interesting to see people put like 5 issues together. Like what 5 issues would you want? Like issue 26 of the Family Tree. would be one that Todd would probably use.
Yep, that's one that I would put in there. I really like that one.
But it's like every once in a while, and maybe depending on the person, I could see it fluctuate a little bit, because it might be more personal to you, or you might identify with it a little bit more or less. But they all seem to hit pretty well.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Well, we have our favorites too, obviously. So
Do you have
I
a
don't know,
favorite issue?
like issue 15 is one of my favorites. For example, the one with Lily, the lady who takes the wrong jacket from the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
that
That's
one is one
that's
of my favorites too.
that's a
And
great
issue
cover
20,
too.
it's really good
issue
cover.
20 was a blast for me. It was.
Yeah, 20 is just like I said, that was what just started it. The
Yeah,
deep end,
not
at least. That was where
not
I had
not
already loved Ice Cream Man at that point, but I was content with waiting for collected volumes. And then when
yes.
20 hit, I couldn't do it anymore.
It's also when we have to. It's also when we stopped having to preach so hard that Ice Cream Man's awesome, because it just became,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
people knew what it was already, and because they at least had read 20 or picked up 20 because they were speccing it, and they were like, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
actually pretty cool too, neat." And yeah, no, so that's 20. It is interesting how something like that can spark so much, and now
Yes, what I find of it really, really interesting is this thing that somehow remembers of the Electric Sublime a little bit. It was like drawing in other styles and twisting these kids' books was really, really, really fun. Especially, well, the sales one was amazing. With it was called Wheat Lace with Coke instead of green eggs with ham.
yeah,
And it was
so
so good. it had the same effect, like by the end you want the guy to try it and be done with it, because this creature insists so much, and you say, come on, do it, man. But I love the first story too, and the second too, obviously. The first one, which had this the girl from issue 15 that was in bed in a room, and it was terrible too, so dark. It was I think the original book is called Good Night Moon, or Good, I cannot remember right now. And it was awesome. Well, I have many favorites, and
yeah.
in every time we finish an issue, we say like, hey, this could be one of the favorite ones, and we all think the same. So issue 31, it's really, really, really awesome. It's coming out next month, but I hope you enjoy it. It's, to me, what was really fun.
Cool. I'm excited. Yeah. I'm always excited. Ice Cream Day is the best.
we get some like review copies and stuff from Image and from a few other places, so that we can like read early and stuff like that. Ice Cream Man is one of the ones that I wait, and I want the book in my hand to read it proper.
I read it. I just
you have to read it.
I just read it because it's there. But then I read it again once I get my book. But I definitely read it as soon as I can.
That's awesome.
Both are valid. So obviously we kind of like Ice Cream Man. It's whatever. It's okay. This other book I read literally. Now, just about an hour ago, I finished it. She Could Fly Volume 1. I just finished it. And I am so pissed off that I only have just read it an hour ago.
You're a bit late, right? It's like
way too late. I don't even know where this has been on my radar, but it's been off of it, and it's ridiculous.
Well, I gotta tell you, the
fantastic.
good news is you have 2 more volumes, so you can get them tomorrow.
I'm so excited.
I started volume 2 as well today.
Okay.
And then I knew I was going to run out of time, so I was like, I'm just going to wait and put it off till tomorrow. But
I loved that your style remains intact in She Could Fly, and it fits the vibe so well with the content of it. Do you want to give like a quick synopsis?
Well, She Could Fly is about Luna. She's a teenager that she has a kind of OCD called pure O, that you kind of live things or have thoughts about things that look or feel real and they're not real, let's say. And she's kind of obsessed with a woman that appears in the sky in Chicago, over Chicago. And she's like obsessed and want to know everything about this flying woman. And suddenly one day at school, everybody's talking about the flying woman, and she explodes in midair over Chicago, over an important bridge in Chicago. I cannot remember the name. Sorry, people from Chicago. And I can't remember, but I know Chicago as if I was walking in it. You know, like I used so many references and did many walks through Google Street View to make references look real, you know, for the city, and at a point of obsession too. But it's the story of Luna, who's trying to investigate what happened with this woman, and there is like a physician that made this artifact that could make a person fly, and there are some Chinese spies, and there is a group of the government, like CIA agents, trying to catch this physician who sold apparently this technology to somebody else. And it's like
I love it.
It's awesome, you know.
There's a lot.
Yeah. I think I kind of went a little bit.
Oh no, that's great, because that shows all of that also makes sense when you read it. That's what's awesome is all of that.
And probably Chris Cantwell would kill me if it's to this synopsis, but I did my best.
No, you're great. That was awesome. That was perfect.
And how it was conceived. I received an email from Karen Berger one night. You know, I read many Vertigo books, so Swamp Thing is, I think, my favorite, all-time favorite. And so when I saw an email from Karen Berger saying possible work or something like that in the subject, I said, like, okay, I cannot open this email. I have to be prepared. So I waited like for an hour, relax, and then read it.
Get a glass of wine.
Absolutely. Yeah. And well, and she introduced me to Chris. Chris had made this great show that I before, because it didn't reach Argentina, and was, I think it was not in any streaming by that time. And he had made this show called Halt and Catch Fire. I downloaded it after started working with him, and like I was like, this is awesome. It's great. And what I remember is Karen. Well, I said I was up for it, and Karen sent me you know, it wasn't particularly a pitch document. It was more like a description of the story, a synopsis, a long synopsis, and character descriptions. And I read it and I said, wow, this guy writes so well. It was like a novel, you know, and it was a document that didn't have to be well written particularly, you know, it could be just descriptive. But it was so awesome, and I was, yes, I'm up for it. And we started working right away. I think it took some time, you know, to like sign the contract and do all of the previous steps of beginning production. But we were all like really happy, and it went awesome. The team, we had a great relation, and it was like an amazing experience.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It shows. I've only read volume 1 so far, which I hear volume 2 is just like, whoa. So I'm excited.
Okay, that's great.
It really shows that you guys worked well together, and that you dug the process and the story and all of that, because there's a lot going on, and it's still just, you fly through it reading it. I couldn't believe, like, at the end I'm like, that was a lot for 140 some pages. And it didn't feel like a slog at all.
No, I remember I went through it, and I didn't read any synopsis or anything before it. I had one person who I'm sure, Tyler on Twitter, who I'm sure Martin knows, has been preaching the book to me for a long time, and he talked so highly of it that at one point I decided, I'm like, okay, so I trust that this book is good, so I don't want to know anything about it other than it's apparently really good. So I went in knowing the title and, you know, kind of the picture that we see of a woman flying with She Could Fly. So I was kind of expecting like a superhero type, you know, I was not expecting at all what I got. And maybe a quarter to a third of the way through the first volume, I had to kind of like put it down for a minute and just be like, okay. Just like, I definitely had to have a break of just like to process, kind of like, all right, hold on a second, this is what it's about, and go on from there. And like, it's not all about you specifically. They didn't you know.
Oh, right, it was totally getting into my head. It was so subversive because I was like feeling crazier than I normally do while reading it, and at a certain point I just like sat onto it and just fell out of the plane like Dr. Strangelove, and was like, all right, this is like the feeling I'm supposed to get throughout this whole book, like, let's do it.
And then like near the end it was maybe like a, do I need help? Or I'm okay, right?
Okay.
Like, I think I'm okay.
It's great. It was a fun time.
Yeah. I remember having to draw the last issue. I don't want to spoil anybody, but there's so much blood and somehow like body parts and all, and it was like, okay, man, okay, let's do this. But
that's a pull quote right there. You should have the pull quote for the end. It's just
for
so much blood, so many body parts. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
it is one of my favorite parts of your style, though, is when someone's face or appendage or something is being separated from their body. You have a really unique way of capturing that. That I quite enjoy. It kind of like elevates it out from, like, it's not like so realistic where detached. It's like but it's it's like that perfect level for me, at least.
That's awesome.
Where I can still laugh at it without feeling like a horrible person. And
that is something that applies to both books, that your art style really does well with how gruesome it can be at times, while somehow still having levity in it, which is just wild. Like, Ice Cream Man with a ultra realistic style would probably not do very well. Like, it works really well because the way you draw everything, it seems to like lighten the mood while being like, everything's terrible. But here's some sugar on top to like make it a little easier to deal with. Do you do anything like that intentionally? Have you ever pulled back or like done different details to like make things more palatable, or do you just usually just go for it and try to gross people out as much as possible?
Yeah, I do, but I some time ago I tried to start like improving the expressions of it, like it probably doesn't sound too well, but like transmitting a sensation or something like that.
Sure. Like
give the reader a feeling, you know, like like Nick said, when you cut a finger, probably it doesn't work that way like I do it, you know, but I want to like try to make people feel what it could be like to, you know, like having the finger separate and not like splitting out the finger and you know, like I make like probably a clean cut, but it's just be clear in what I try to express, and that goes for the faces and for the gruesome, like you said. But I don't try to be. I don't have a realistic style, so I'm quite good with that. I try to give just a bit more detailed. I'm not sure if we are realistic, but trying to give some details to ground the story. Sometimes and sometimes go absolutely crazy and do whatever I can. But I'm trying to focus in that. I remember I had 2 comic book teachers in my younger years. And the first one was like had a really good technique. He was like, well, you have to ask the editorial if you can like bleed a panel, like put a hand out of the panel, because that could be not allowed. And he was like real technical, like, well, if you have to draw a gun, it has to be a real gun. And I had a second one then some years later when I said, okay, I want to be a comic book artist for real. So I didn't feel like my storytelling was really good, so I went back to another comic book school. And this teacher said, okay, yeah, you can draw anatomy good and you can draw settings good, but I want to feel what draw a woman on a kitchen and it's on fire. And I drew it, and he said, okay, but I don't feel her panic because the kitchen is on fire. Draw it again. You have to transmit that panic. So I gotta say, like, some years ago, probably it started with the Electric Sublime particularly, and I tried to work more on expressions and feelings I can transmit through drawings. So that's like my main motivation, let's say, when I draw a panel, a page, or a book. More than being realistic. Sometimes I realize sometimes I look at some faces I do and nobody has that face, but it's okay. It's a bit, I'm okay with it.
You did it. Yeah.
If I feel what I want to make people feel with that drawing, it's okay. I try to focus on that. So
yeah, the faces are always there.
You do well with it's all, well, not all, but a lot of it's in the eyes. And I got a lot of it in She Could Fly. You had a lot of like triple panels where it'd be like face, like close up on the face. And it's just like you could stare into those eyes and you just know exactly what is happening in that room.
Yeah, you feel it.
And then awesome. You turn the page and you're like, awesome. Yeah, the eyeball is over here.
Yeah, if there was a way you could see the first pencils I do, sometimes, many times, I draw the eyes and then go like, no, it has to be a little bit more, and then I move the eyebrows a little up and open the eyes a little more, and probably shrink the pupil, the iris a little more, and then it's like, okay, then it's okay, and it's probably pretty unrealistic, but it's okay to me. It's I try to make that feeling.
No, it works.
Oh, you can tell in the background here. You can see Ice Cream Man and Luna, and it's little guys. It's not the best resolution. We're on a weird StreamYard thing, but the back, you can tell with their eyes, Ice Cream Man's a sinister motherfucker, and you better watch out. And Luna's like, I'm kind of concerned.
I did just one piece of them together.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, really?
Yeah. For New York Comic Con.
That's cool.
2018. It was Luna reading an Ice Cream Man book like this, while doing like.
That's awesome.
Yeah, poor Luna. Yeah.
Yep. That's not helping my brain at all.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be funny if that was her origin. I was 10 years old and I read an Ice Cream Man book and everything went downhill.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we do have a couple really important questions to ask. There's one at the end that we have to cover. One that's tangentially supported by it. What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh, I'm awful with ordering ice cream. I like always, when I was a kid, I always choose like fruit flavors, fruit with water flavors. And right now I have like it's called here cookies and cream. It's like Oreo and dulce de leche, which I don't think you have, but it's
we have dulce de leche. Yeah.
Okay. It's like natural dulce de leche. It's not the ice cream flavor, but the actual
actual
dulce de leche.
Yeah,
with cream and like Oreos smashed in them. And that one is awesome, and always order also like strawberry.
You just picked two of. If you would have said Moose Tracks, we would have the same top 3 ice creams because it's literally strawberry, but real strawberry that's in it, not like pink ice cream, actual like
Yes,
a vanilla with strawberry
swirls with the small seeds,
Yes, all the actual
you gotta have the little seeds.
And then cookies and cream is my other. I literally just finished half a gallon like 2 days ago.
That's awesome.
So that's amazing.
So I'm not that bad. Okay.
No, that's great. Those are, in my opinion, those are perfect choices.
I like a mint chocolate chip, but those are.
Oh, that's polemic.
That's a top 5 for me.
Yeah. One of my daughters, Lupe, orders mint with chips of chocolate, and we all said, "You cannot order that one. It's like toothbrush." No,
that's
it's
what people
great.
say. I love it.
She says it's great. No, you don't understand anything. It's awesome. It's the best one. Okay. We respect her.
You don't understand me at all.
You just don't get
it. Enjoy your strawberry.
Yeah.
Strawberry is good.
It is good. Yeah. But no, people say toothpaste a lot for mint tasting things, and mint chocolate's like top 3 flavor profiles for me in things. I adore it. But
maybe it's because I always use like a wintergreen type toothpaste.
That's smart. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I never get. I was like, this doesn't taste like toothpaste at all.
My toothpaste is I have that cotton candy bubblegum stuff that the dentists have. Yeah, so it doesn't taste like the double bubble. Tastes like toothpaste.
Like blue with sparkles in it.
Yeah. Nick, do you have any other questions before we get to the big one? Because I know you're
before the big one. Well, there is one other one that's always interesting to me, especially with your art style, I guess, is if there was like a big 2 book that you could do, like just anything, not necessarily one that you have a story idea for or anything, but just something that you would love to draw from either DC or Marvel, or even
we usually say big 3. Like you can also say Image. But you always do the best Image book, so
I'd love to do Ice Cream Man. I'm actually more interested in the big 2 for this one specifically. But if there's just something that you would like to do a 4 issues, I don't know, 4 or 32 issues.
I don't know. Some people told me I would be great doing like a Batman story. Like
I would read the shit out of it.
I would be so into it.
But I gotta confess, I always read Marvel over DC. So
that's fair. So, but Daredevil.
Daredevil. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I as a teenager, I was like an X-Men fan. It was the time of the end of the Claremont run, and I was like, I read the whole Claremont run, and I was a fan of the X-Men, so probably X-Men, but I'm not sure. Cool. I wouldn't know.
Do you have a favorite? If you were like, if they were like, all right, you can do an X-Men book, but it's going to highlight one character.
One of the X-Men.
Which one would it be? Can you guess?
Yeah. Is it? Do we talk about it already?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna guess Gambit because Gambit's the one that I would do.
No.
It's not.
I'm gonna kick myself. I'm sure you're gonna say something and be like, "Oh yeah, duh."
It starts with an N. I would do Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler. That'd be my second guess.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I would definitely read Martin Morazzo.
I would be able to use my bizarre faces style with him. Nobody would care.
Oh, it would fit. It would work so well. They'd be like, Nightcrawler's weird.
I'm gonna do a warm up tomorrow of
Nightcrawler.
Yeah. Awesome. Very cool.
Nightcrawler eating a burrito. And
okay. An
ice cream cone.
Okay.
Yeah. Amazing. That's awesome. Yeah. Oh, I do love me some Nightcrawler. Rogue's the best, but Nightcrawler's cool too.
Yeah. You're saying it because of my how do you call it?
It is because of your streak. I figured it would be Rogue. Okay. You're growing into a Rogue fan now.
Yeah, probably.
In like 5 years, you're gonna be like, Rogue's the best. Come on, look.
Yeah, I hope I'm Rogue and not Magneto. You know.
Yeah. I think you'd be fine. Magneto's cool too.
Yeah. He's really good. Yeah.
He's like the best villain in the Marvel universe. And I go like this: villain.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
Dude's been through a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
So, big question. Biggest question you'll ever receive in the last 45 minutes.
At least from us, yeah.
You got me nervous, but yeah.
Don't be.
Nick?
Okay.
Okay, so you can either go purchase or go make the perfect burrito.
Yeah.
Whatever you want in that tortilla, or if there's a favorite that you have that you want to just like describe, but just your perfect burrito. You're at a Chipotle that has just endless options that are way better than Chipotle.
Okay.
Since Todd gave you the look.
Can I put strawberry and cookies and cream ice cream on it?
Absolutely.
It is.
No, I'm just kidding. Because,
nobody's really done a dessert burrito before.
Waffle cone tortilla.
If you want to go that route, we can.
You know, I think the tortilla is not nor salty nor sweet.
It's not a savory necessary.
So you can put something sweet on it. So, but yeah, we don't have many burrito here. It's like you can eat tacos in Buenos Aires, but probably you can eat burritos somewhere. But I'm not aware of. But anything.
Ignacio didn't have a burrito either. He's never eaten a burrito before.
Oh, now you know. Right?
Yeah, I was slightly prepared for you to not have an answer.
Because here you have tacos, but
mm-hmm.
I think probably in some places you can eat tacos. Probably you can eat burritos too, but it's not that popular here. So
if you're gonna make a really big taco, if you're gonna have a big taco that you would wrap up,
a really big taco.
Yeah, it's a taco that you can eat while driving your car.
That sounds a bit messy, but
yeah,
I should take some napkins with me, to clean it. Because
one of the bibs that attach to the steering wheel so it catches
everything.
Yes,
exactly. I should take one from my youngest daughter. Just those with a bag in it. You can drop things in,
and you're all set.
Yeah, probably it should have some meat in it, like pork or beef, and and I don't know, like I like spicy food and some probably with an Asian touch or something like Vietnamese or so, spicy and with some like good flavor there. I eat baos. Not sure. It's like a bread made with vapor. And it's like a Vietnamese sandwich, and I have that with probably with some pork meat, like when it's like I don't know how to say it in English. It's like
ground up or shredded.
Shredded, like shredded, and it has like some pickles over it, and some spicy sauce, and it's awesome for me. I should
sounds like it could be a burrito.
Something with that. I'm not sure if that.
No, that's awesome.
That's a great thing about
satisfying
burritos.
as an answer, but
no, it's great.
No, it is. Anything can be a burrito. We have We have places in town now that have like sushi burritos, where you instead of like a small sushi roll, they just make it
just a big one.
Okay.
Make a huge sushi roll. I haven't had one yet because my problem with sushi is I like to have like five.
If they change it as you go,
maybe
that would be
maybe
dope.
a half and half.
Yeah.
I'm gonna this year I'm gonna be at NYCC again, so I'm gonna go and try some burritos.
Yes,
there you go.
Awesome.
So
don't go to Chipotle.
So after that, I can answer with a what?
Don't do Chipotle. Go to
what is it with Chipotle? Is it that?
It's owned by McDonald's.
It's owned by McDonald's, and it's a Mexican chain restaurant in the United States.
Yeah, I remember it from San Diego. I've been in San Diego a couple of times, and I think I saw one in New York too. But
just avoid that and go to a
personally, I will eat Chipotle any day.
No, it's fine.
I'll eat it, but if you're gonna go if you want to go have a burrito, you can do that.
Okay, go someplace else. Okay, sure. I you know what I remember from many years ago. I have Ale Garza. Do you know Ale Garza, the artist? He used to be one of the Jim Lee's boys. In. Cannot remember the name of the studio in the first years of Image, and I remember him posting in Facebook many years ago, like, I cannot have enough Chipotle, and I was wondering what Chipotle is, and I remember that phrase, and it's awesome, but I never went. I never went.
That's okay. So, once you've had your first burrito, then you can go to Chipotle and check it out. But if you're gonna finally really enjoy,
I guess I don't know what else you have. It's like you go in and they have the tortilla, and then they have all the different meats.
Oh, it's like a Subway.
Subway. I was gonna say it's like Subway. Okay. Yeah.
But that's why I use it as a reference for that question, because it's just
okay. I'm sorry, but can I ask you a question about the nature of burritos? So I understand. I eat fajitas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tacos. And burrito. What's the difference between the three of them?
Burrito is completely wrapped, and it's usually there's more toppings and it's more filled. It's more tubular than the other ones. Fajita
and it's bigger. It has a bigger diameter.
Yes, typically it's a burrito tortilla. Yeah, whereas fajitas are only grilled items that you're filling it in with usually. So that's more specific. And then tacos are basically just mini burritos.
Because I do fajitas. I remember I've been to Mexico, so I probably had a burrito, but I cannot remember because I cannot remember. It was many years ago. But I do fajitas, and it's like I cut the meat in small, you should say tiritas here. Yeah, strips.
Yeah.
And the tacos, I think it's the meat is processed or
ground or chopped really fine. Usually. Yeah.
It's really small, right? And in burrito, anything can go in.
It's either of those things.
It's all in the wrap. It's all in the wrap. That's why I said you could dry it, because you have it. The bottom is enclosed. But you can kind of hold it and eat off.
The top. I remember your logo. So
it still opens up a lot though.
You run into trouble, especially if you. Some of them are,
and I do. If I have a burrito, it's like bursting.
I probably and what about the extremes? Are they flipped inside, or it's easy to open at the extremes of the burrito?
It's easy to open, but it's wrapped pretty well if you don't intend to open it.
Yeah.
So it's like this, and then the
specific fold that's over
inside and then around.
Yeah.
So you should see the feeling only when eating it, taking the first bite and you. Oh, and then you're
there.
The problem with them sometimes, if they're not made correctly, is that you can have a bunch of meat in the top, and then you'll end up with cheese, and then a bunch of sour cream in the bottom.
It's all sour cream.
You have to layer it right so that each bite gets.
The best place is mix it all and then put.
And then you get into problem with wet burritos, where they take that burrito and then cover it with more sauce and more cheese on top. And then those you have to go with knife and fork.
Okay, because you end up like with a bird, if not, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. And it's just all over you. Yes.
It's just
Okay.
Amazing.
Okay.
Those are my favorite.
Thank you for clarifying this for me.
Yeah.
Happy to help.
Well,
That's
now when you're in New
here
York,
for.
you can go with confidence.
Yeah.
And order something good.
That's what
and
we're
if if they bring something open to the table, I say like, this is not a burrito. Bring me another one. Do it well.
Yeah. That, my sir, is either a taco or a fajita. Get that out of there.
This is not a burrito, okay?
Yeah. I sent it back. I love it.
Okay.
Amazing. Well, yeah. For everybody who is watching, thank you so much. Make sure to check out the description where you'll find Martin's Twitter. He also has a page where there's a lot of original Ice Cream Man art for sale, and it is wildly tempting all of the time. There will be a link for that in the description. Go do that. Okay. Go throw Martin's face money, and he'll give you amazing art. So go do that. Incredible. There's also a link for She Could Fly and the Ice Cream Man. Be on the lookout for next month.
We didn't even mention that.
Sunday, the Sunday edition is coming out in June, and I am so excited because about time to get some oversized Ice Cream Man. Let's go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's out in June, and there will be a link for it in the description.
Okay.
But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. I'm Todd.
I'm Nick.
I'm Martin.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. This has been Comic Burrito and Interview.
This is by far my favorite shirt. It is like it's
really soft, right?
It's
really
soft,
soft,
it is. I'm like, I might order another one just because it's a really comfortable shirt.
Well, everybody here at home, everybody hates me because we wanted one for every member of the family, and I just got one, so obviously it's mine. I won't even lend it to somebody else,
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, my wife doesn't like it because it's like my special occasion shirt too, because it's my favorite. So it's like if we're going
to a wedding,
no, maybe not wedding, but if we're going out to like meet with friends or something, it's like, ooh, I gotta get my Ice Cream Man shirt. Church, I love wearing it to church.
It could go below a shirt and a tie and all, and a jacket, and it could be below those. So
and you could
wear it to a wedding too.
You could Superman. Yeah.
Yeah, and then open it when the party's almost over, you can open it and then.
Right.
Time to go.
Nothing you can do about it then.
Time to drop some existential dread and hit the dance floor.
Yeah.